My name is Dr. Arnold and I'm a dentist in Preston, Lancashire. Today we're just going to be looking through a news article that I came across, and you might have seen it as well. Turkey teeth, it seems to be the trend right now, so let's look at one of the cases that's come up recently. So the title is Couple Left in Agony by 4K Turkey Teeth, which they say has ruined their lives. And the quote from them says, "It's cost us so much money and it's been hell." So if you just read on, it says a couple says its decision to get turkey teeth has ruined their lives and left them unable to eat and drink. Jade and her partner Kelly flew to Antalya in September last year as they planned to combine a beach holiday with an overhaul of their smiles. So going abroad for dental treatment. Lured by cheaper dental prices, the pair had veneers fitted. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to find out, did they have veneers or did they actually have crowns? There's a difference there. The procedure, which cost them £4,240, is that for each of them or for both of them? Involved shaving down their teeth before fitting the new set of veneers over the top of them. So far, it's sounding like crowns. The day after their arrival, the couple visited a private clinic near their hotel for the first stage of their transformation. After having x-rays, they were given a dose of local anesthetic as dentists filed down their gnashes, causing them both instant pain. Okay, so this is sounding like, at the very least, quite a bit of tooth tissue was removed, so natural tooth tissue. So normally, if you're having veneers, a very slight amount of your natural tooth tissue might be removed. Whereas if you're having crowns, you have to shave all around your natural teeth so that there is space for the crown to fit on top. This points towards crowns because if they had pain instantly afterwards, it's likely that their normal tooth tissue was drilled and shaved down so much that their nerves were a lot more exposed, and that's what would cause the pain. The fact that the outer layers that used to protect the nerves, those outer layers have been removed and the nerves are more exposed. So the couple from Chester then had to wait in the clinic reception for around 5 hours with their shark teeth before dentists fitted them each with temporary veneers. The pair were then left waiting for a permanent set for over 5 days while their stubs caused them agony. So the temporary veneers, which they had to keep in all the time, were said to have been badly fitted and were akin to horse teeth. So once the teeth have been prepared, something temporary is placed just whilst you wait for the final fittings to happen. So it looks like that's what's happened here. But the temporaries that they had, it looks like they're probably too bulky, too big. With your temporaries, you can actually use those to try and get a feel for what the after result can be like. So with some dentists, they'll actually make you temporaries which are going to be close to what the final result will look like. And that's a good checking in appointment so that the patient can see if they're going to like the final result, and the dentist can still make some changes before the final fitting. So again, if you're going abroad and having things done very quickly and in a rushed way, you don't have that extra appointment or appointments to make adjustments before a final fitting is carried out. So that's the advantage to being able to have a local practice that you can go to, because these things can be done and it's not rushed, so you get the right result. So neither could eat or drink, and they were left to survive on mashed potatoes and soup. Even water was hard to swallow due to their hugely sensitive teeth, so their nerves are more exposed and they got very sensitive teeth. On the 6th day, actually before we get to that, this picture you can actually see, and from what I'm seeing here, it looks like they've had crowns. It looks like the amount of shaving that's happened there is more preparation for dental crowns than dental veneers. So here it looks like natural tooth tissue, which would have probably been healthy, has been sacrificed to quickly speed up this process of having the perfect smile. So on the 6th day, the loved-up pair who both quit their jobs in the summer of 2022 to go traveling were finally called back to have their crowns fitted. So interestingly enough, the language has changed now from veneers. We're now talking about crowns being fitted. But both describe the procedure as being like a bloodbath. So another red flag here, if they've got bleeding, it may be that their gums aren't actually in a healthy state. So whenever there's any pressure placed to the gums, they'll easily bleed. So again, the gums need to be healthy and in a stable place before you carry out any advanced dental treatment. So again, these are some checks that could be carried out if you're seen more regularly and you've got somewhere local to be able to check in with. So Jade and Kelly, who are both still in daily pain, are now beginning to consider revisiting the clinic to demand their teeth be fixed. Jade from Chester said, lots of our friends had already had it done and told us that it didn't hurt. I've always wanted it done, even though my teeth before were actually okay. But even now, we're both still in constant pain. All the food at the hotel looked beautiful, but we just couldn't eat any of it. Ouch. We survived on mashed potatoes and soup. Even drinking was difficult as our teeth were so sensitive. Looking back now, we 100% would not have had it done. It's cost us so much money and it's been hell. We used some savings we already had to pay for it doing. They look lovely and in pictures are perfect, but it's like a nightmare. And here in this picture, we can see Jade, who's having the procedure carried out. And again, you can see that the way the teeth have been prepared, these are dental crowns that are being placed. So she's had dental crowns. It looks like all the way to the premolars, potentially the molars as well on both sides. The bottom ones have been fitted. Potentially the gums may be suffering from gum disease. It's hard to tell in this picture. But definitely these are crowns that have been placed. Now, the issue with having teeth that were healthy or virgin teeth that haven't had much dental work or any dental work carried out on them is that once you shave away the natural tooth tissue, you can't grow that back. And because crown is being placed, it's going to fail. It's not going to last forever. And instead of thinking about getting the instant result, it's thinking about what happens 15, 20 years time, if you're lucky, when the crowns need replacing. You're going to need to remove the current crowns and take away even more of your natural tooth tissue. And you're in this restorative cycle. And you get to a point where you can't work on those teeth anymore and they need to be removed. So the danger with starting this process very early and at a young age is that by the time you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, you're running out of options for what can be done. You're now starting to think about dentures. You're now starting to think about implants. And, you know, the cost of replacing natural teeth with implants is much higher than having had a minimally invasive approach carried out before. So it might be like Jade was saying, her teeth weren't that bad before, So maybe whitening the teeth, some composite bonding, maybe straightening the teeth, whitening them, that would have achieved a healthier smile, and it would have meant that she didn't sacrifice her natural teeth. So Jade says, we both had all right teeth beforehand. My bottom set were a little crooked, but neither of us really needed them doing. So again, she probably didn't need to get the bottom teeth done, or she could have actually just gone for some straightening and whitening to sort out the bottom teeth. It costs around £20,000 per person to have the procedure done in the UK. So let's say they were having 10 top teeth and 10 bottom teeth done, and each tooth, it was £1,000 to place a crown or a veneer on each of the teeth. Those 20 teeth it could come up to £20,000. So that does seem about right in terms of cost. The difference to having it done locally is that you're able to make sure that things are stable. You're able to have check-in appointments, more of that with the dentist because they're local to you. If things go wrong, it's easier to rectify things, and it's easier to have aftercare, long-term aftercare appointments with somebody who's local. So it's not like you're getting, apples from England and you're getting cheaper apples from Turkey. You've got to think about it's the aftercare, the maintenance, how the work is carried out. All of these things come into considering what the best way to have your teeth done is. And the experience of the clinician as well. All of that needs to be considered. So it talks about them being actually on edge and exhausted. They had a long day, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It was scary seeing the teeth filed down. They were in separate rooms. Jade says she was crying and in pain straight away. She told Kelly that this was awful. And then Jade says that they sent us away with naproxen, which is an anti-inflammatory and medicated mouthwash to use in the meantime. So it's almost as if they were fobbed off and just told to get on with it. So the couple, who have been back in the UK for just 4 months, then waited 5 days before their veneers were to be fitted, during which time they struggled to eat or drink due to the pain. So the process was horrible, they said. There was blood everywhere. The dentist said that they didn't have to be numbed, but Jade asked to be numbed. She didn't really like the dentist's attitude. And again, having these procedures done locally means that you can get to build a rapport with the dentist and make sure that the dentist is the right fit for you. And that's one of the benefits to having treatment carried out locally, where you can really research the dentist, the clinic, get recommendations, and actually see them for an initial consult to make sure that they're the right fit for you. So Jade had 25 new teeth fitted and Kelly had 24. So, probably half of them were top teeth, half were bottom teeth. So maybe 12 and 13, 12 top, 13 bottom, vice versa, or 12 and 12. So again, a lot of teeth were prepared and shaved down to achieve this look that they were going for. Leaving Turkey a week later, the couple, who paid £4,240 altogether for both sets of permanent veneers, were still in severe pain. Okay, so they've spent about £2,000 each to have, in excess of 24 teeth, 25 teeth shaved down and placed with crowns. They thought it was veneers. It's actually turned out to be crowns that they had carried out. So it seems like a bargain in that they spent £2,000 instead of having spent £20,000. But then there's the trade-off. Where they've spent £2,000, they've lost a lot of healthy tooth tissue. It's likely that root canal treatments may be needed to save some of these teeth, and they're going to need new sets of crowns placed in 15, 20 years' time, in another 15, 20 years' time, as they're now in this restorative cycle. So if we look at the long term, this is going to be more costly for them in terms of maintaining great smiles than having it done at a higher cost, but in a safe way, which is going to allow for their smiles to be maintained for the entire lifetime. For the aftercare, Jay says that they messaged the dentist on Instagram. It was difficult to communicate due to the language barrier, but they were advised to take ibuprofen and try a muscle relaxant. Okay, that's a new one. I've never heard of a muscle relaxant really being used like this in dentistry. We'd already been taking ibuprofen and it didn't make a difference. Nothing seems to take the pain away. Couldn't have hot meal or cold drink because the teeth are so sensitive. Keeping painkillers all the time in the bag at the side of the bed. So they say that no dentist in the UK would even touch them. We're almost 4 months into this now. One of our friends is 6 months post-surgery and she's also still in pain. So I think we'll give it another 6 months and look to fly. So we'll give it until 6 months and look to fly back out there. Our teeth visually look lovely, and we have people asking us all the time. And we always say no, absolutely do not have them done. We would never recommend them to anyone. The sad thing here is the fact that it doesn't look like they've learned their lesson, because they're looking to actually go back to try and get their issues sorted. Now, it's actually easier to work on virgin teeth, so teeth that don't have much dental work, and do the job right the first time. It takes much more skill and cost to fix a job that's been messed up. So if this clinic was struggling to get it right the first time, it's highly unlikely that the clinic can now resolve this issue. And again, they could actually be seen in the UK for the issue to be worked on, but the cost will be much higher than the 20,000 that were quoted before, because now you've got to have the work of removing all of the crowns, making sure that the teeth are in a stable position, and then making new crowns. So now you've got that 20,000 quote plus a lot more work that needs doing to fix everything that's gone wrong. So it ends up being a much more costly treatment for them. And that's probably why they're thinking of going back to the clinic that saw them. But again, this is just repeating the same mistake as before. There is no quick fix. If you want your smile to be done in a safe and with a long-term view, it's best to do it somewhere local where you can find a clinician, a practice you can trust, and where a rapport can be built, a relationship can be built, so that you can get the work done properly. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this type of treatment, tourism, going abroad for dental work, and I'll catch you guys at the next one.